Good evening. Ah, that's much better. My mic wasn't working properly. Okay, there we go. I can hear myself in my headset now. Alrighty, so welcome to Darth Grumpy Dad Games. If you've come across this Twitch stream and enjoy it, consider following me here, getting a notification for when I go live. And my schedule is a bit random because I have a full life. Yay for me! So if you're unavailable to watch my show or comment during the stream in the chat, there's a link to my YouTube channel, Darth Grumpy Dad. Swing in there, watch videos. I always do my best to post the video to YouTube as soon as I'm done streaming. It takes a little time for YouTube to get it all up and going, but you can swing in there and watch the videos at a later date there. Leave a comment in the comments. Ask me questions. Right? Which is groovy. I love teaching people shit about video games, or excuse me, stuff about video games, or especially the video games I like and obsess about. All right. So today I was thinking, like, going over some menus and stuff really quick. When I started this series for this season, it's like I just found out that day that they had one more season with new content. Where they weren't just rolling over the old seasons and the old perks from the old seasons, right? And so I just like, okay, start streaming. Let's get in there and start leveling a character. And so, like, I've been way more focused on that. So I figured I'd stop on this one and start with some menus and settings, right, before I got going. I'm still going to stream, do a whole, do some grinding. So if you have any chat questions, just post them in chat. And I'll try and glance over at my laptop once in a while to see if I have any in. If I don't see them right away, please be patient. And I'll just answer your questions right in chat, right on the stream. If you'd like to join me here, send me a friend invite. Darth Grump Dad, right there you can see on the screen. That's my handle for here on Xbox. I'm playing on Xbox. This whole thing is dedicated to Xbox play. I'm not playing on PC. And there's different play styles. Like if you're watching what I'm doing here and you're playing on PC, it's probably not going to work out for you so well, right? But if you watch a lot of guys that play PC and your builds aren't working out right, well, it's because there's a difference in gameplay there, right? They play differently, like literally. So first thing, let's start with game settings. And like I said, if you send me a friend invite, I'm happy to play with people. I'm happy to level people, the whole bit, right? It's all about community play and community gaming. Yeah. Okay, I don't even have the words to explain how cool that whole concept is, right? Okay, so starting game settings, right? From here, this is where you choose whether you're playing campaign, adventure mode, or running the challenge rift. There's a new challenge rift up, and I know that's a whiz. Off the Typhons, I believe that's a Typhons build. And so every Monday there's a new challenge rift in which they just select some beater build around some set, right? That's like not complete in any way. And like, go for it, have fun, try and beat this within 5 minutes. Later, dudes. But you get your challenge rift if you beat it in under 5 minutes, and it's always good. There's plenty of good mats in that. It's worth doing it until you have, right? It's just worth it. Early, the first few weeks of the season, it's great, right? And you get to experience other characters. If you have a main character you play most of the time, then you get to experience other characters and sets and play styles. It's kind of handy. All right, so challenge rift, adventure mode, right? You select your act, and then select your difficulty. Now, even if you're just starting the character, right? If it's brand new, level 0, you can start out at Torment 6, which is brutal, right? You're going to die a lot, but the payoff for the XP is you start getting good, higher weapons right away. It's just really, it's brutal and torturous. You're dead all the time, right? So you want to like generally start on normal, go get your cube like you seen when I started my game. I messed up. I forget like I was in such a hurry, I totally forgot the proper order in which to start your seasonal character. You just start on normal, go get your cube in Act 3 from the Runes of Sescheron first, and then run your challenge rift, and then you have your challenge rift cache, right? So that week, the week that the season starts, you don't want to run the challenge rift, right? You don't, yeah, so on 16. You don't want to run this challenge rift the week the season starts. So it's still available for you on Friday night, right? When the season starts. The season always starts on a Friday night. So you don't want to run this earlier in the week, Monday through Friday. You want to run that after you get your cube. Then you have the mats from that, so you can try and craft a level 70 weapon that you can use and put in your cube. You have enough mats to craft a level 70 weapon, upgrade it to legendary, and extract that legendary power and put it in your cube. But it's random. Like you might get a shit-tastic weapon. Like last season, I got the Wand of Sorlak, and the legendary power on that is this wand finds your death amusing, right? Of no value whatsoever. It's yeah, it was awesome. All right, and then next, like quick match. I don't ever really do that. I enjoy playing with people, but I like being to be people I know and can communicate with. If you have a headset, that makes it way easier, right? And even if you don't, you can join the chat and you can hear people talking over your TV, so you know what's coming. If you're just you're not going to be the DPS in the Rift if you're doing that, right? Because you have to call stuff out. Like there needs to be 2 players, one guy out looking for mobs, and which is usually a support character. Like the ZDH is out looking for mobs and pylons, right? And then the DPS is calling out when they're hitting the pylon or they need it hit. When their COE comes around to the fire damage or lightning damage, whatever their main damage is on COE, there's the communication needs to happen, right? Important. Anyways, menus, right? Here you can, when you're starting a new character, right? Switch hero, hit Y. Create hero, hit Y. And then this is where you select whether you're hardcore, seasonal, regular play, regular hardcore, seasonal hardcore. The solo boards, the new solo boards, solo board hardcore. All right, so that's where you choose that. I'm gonna back out. All right, and then I'm gonna choose your skag in. Yeah, really, like these characters, that was my monk from last season, and I ran the entire season achievement board with that. I completed the season with that, and then I didn't really run them after that. And then this is just a necro I was working on, trying to get the Inarius to work a little better, right? I really enjoy some of the stuff on the necro Inarius build. The armor looks cool, right? And it has some cool things. It's just not that powerful. It's really, it makes me whimper and cry. So anyways, then options menu. This is a video. This is where you set, right? This is where you set your All right. Yeah, yeah, that's good. And you set your safe zone, right? So like on this monitor, I can actually extend my safe zone out, and this way, all your action bar and all your stuff is going to be on the screen. It's not going to be off screen. So like my older TV, it's a projection TV, and the video games end up being projected oversized. So I enjoy it. It's much better when I have a game like this with a safe zone, and I can bring these in so all my info fits on the screen. So if you have a TV like that, this is handy to know about. Quest dialogue subtitles, because a lot of time I just turn most of the sound off except for the effects so I can hear goblins. Like I get like right, I have some of that stuff turned on for streaming, but generally if I'm playing solo or whatever else, I don't have any of the sound turned on except for the effects so I can hear the goblins. Subtitles, right? And you can read that. Sound, you can see I got the master volume turned up a little higher on this. I have the effects, the voice volumes, ambient turned all the way down because I want to hear my effects and the voices. I have the voices turned on for the stream, right? Just for people who haven't played a lot. Music turned all the way down. I'm not saying the music's good, but after a few years of listening to it, yeah, not so much. Multiplayer settings, regional, same region, right? Same language. I have a lot of that because, I mean, I'll play with people that speak other languages and stuff, and we can get along. We like if we know the game well, it'll work. Your controller let you know all your buttons right here. Privacy, right? We'll go back here, and then just options, gameplay. Here, elective mode. You want like this is huge. Need to make sure you're elective if you're a new player and you don't know this. Elective mode, right? You need this turned on so you can put whatever skill you want on whatever button you want, right? Early on in the game, they only give you one skill at a time on one button, so you got nowhere else to put it. And until you have all your skills open, you can't really move them around. But once you reach, I think it's like level 55 or 60, something like that, all your playable skills are open, and then you can arrange them, put them on whatever button is most convenient for you. Now, I generally don't play characters where or builds where it's really busy or you're constantly moving your feet. Like some people need that; they have to have it like that, or they're bored. So they'll play characters like that. I'd rather have a character like this Firebirds. Basically, for the most part, I'm just holding like 4 buttons down all the time and then rolling my thumb to hit my teleport button to move around, right? It's like, it's on like Donkey Kong all the time, right? Display player health bars, so you know how health, you know, like, need to go help somebody, this, that. Monster health bars, so you know how much damage they've taken display player names, so you can see when you're in multiplayer games which player to direct your comments to, right? You can just say, "Hey, Wiz," right? Or, but it's easier to use the player's name. A lot of these healing numbers, damage numbers, all this floating, I turn them off. I find they get to be distracting. It's cool to see how much damage you're doing. I'm not saying it's not. That's cool, but it gets to be distracting and you get too many graphics going at once and it'll starts, especially your older Xboxes, it'll lag it out a little bit, right? And that gets annoying. Show item drops, icon drops. I generally have that on so I know what the item is that's dropped. Show tutorials. Fine when you're a new player, it's great. After a while, I'll turn it off. Auto equip items. It's kind of cool when you're first building your character and they'll just pick something up and put it on. But I generally like to select that myself because, especially if somebody's power leveling you, right? And you're just following them anyways. That gives you time to pick the items you want and you can always change, da da da. But that's personal play, whatever you want. This is huge. This is a big one. show advanced tooltips. Now, this gives you an extra set of what a skill does and how long it's in effect for. And, right? So, and I'll show you that. Enable, I usually turn that off. I just leave the map in the middle, right? Story objectives, I'm not. If you're playing campaign, you want that on. Bounty objectives, I have that turned on, so it gives me a little yellow arrow where to go. Rarity icons for items, so it shows whether it's gray, blue, yellow, legendary, or primal, right? Ancient looks just the same as a legendary, but primals have a red beam, and it puts a big red pentagon on the screen to let you know there's, right? So when you look at your map, there'll be a orange star there for a legendary, or the red pentagram for a primal. Ancient primal, right? Legendary, ancient, primal, all. Oh my God, yeah, such a long name. And so I generally have those turned on. Now, advanced tooltips. We'll get back to that. Video, sound, been over that. Multiplayer, controller, privacy. All right. And now I'm going to continue. Now, for people that have played for a while, this whole first, like, probably hour, half hour to an hour is going to be, you might want to skip it, right? All right. Now, then across the bottom, starting on the left, right? The big, in the lower left corner, that's your action bar. So the purple is my arcane resource. That's going to be your resource. If you're playing a demon hunter, it's going to be split in two for discipline and hatred, right? Because some of your skills use discipline, some use hatred. All my skills use arcane, so it's an arcane globe. The red bar, of course, your health bar. The blue dotted bar underneath is your XP bars, how close you are to your next level. On the bottom, that where it says LB, that's your health, and it shows you which specific. We'll go on our menu here. Okay, and menu. Right, it's 2 square button. That's your main menu. That's going to be where your skills and inventory are. Right. You go to the pouch. Go down to your items. Right, so you have cosmetics, items. Right, and you can see right over on the right side of the screen where the leather pouch is. Cosmetics, items, gems. Under your items pouch. Right. The only item I have on me right now is my legendary health potion. And currently, the one I have is bottomless potion of the tower, right? So increases armor by 10% for 5 seconds. And these, as you get higher and they drop, there's higher. So there's ones that give you 20%. It's in blue because it goes up, right? The 60% instantly restores 60% of your maximum life. That's pretty much standard. That's stat. A lot of times a green like that is a number that goes up and down, but on this it's actually the blue. And I know I've seen one of those that'll give you 20. Armor or resource generation or 20% extra health from all sources. That's one I generally like. All right, so that tells you see it's the same color. That's the one in my pouch down in the lower left corner, so that lets you know which one you have. And I obviously can't use it right now. My life is already full. And then next it tells me what skill is on my A button. You can see it's on cooldown. The little orange ring going around, and it's ready to go. X, right? That's my tornadoes. Y, it's my magic weapon. And as you can see, the yellow ring around the outside is on and stays on. That means it's now a passive. Like when we look at that skill, right? Magic weapon costs 25 arcane, right? You do it once. Imbue your weapon with magical energy, granting it 10% increased damage, right? And it's a passive. Once you turn it on, it's on, unless you die, or at the very beginning of a greater rift, you have to turn it on. You have to hit it, right? And then it tells you what, you know, enemies hit by your attacks restore up to 3 arcane power. And so that's the rune I have on. And here we go. And there's, you know, your various runes, and they each. And some of this information wouldn't be shown without having advanced tooltips on. And the best one to show here is this one for your follower, right? Right here, right? Which one? This one right here. Now, a lot of this extra information on there it wouldn't show here. I'll go into options. This is what I'll do. We'll go to options. We'll go to gameplay. We'll go down and we'll turn off show advanced tooltips. Turn it off for a second. And then we'll go back into our menu. And we'll look at our skills. See? Now all those extra green numbers that tell you what percentage are gone. Like with the followers, see? All the green numbers that tell you where you're at, because like you can put all the different weapons you want on your follower. You can do whatever you want. Generally, you want to use a weapon that, like if you're doing cold damage, their weapon should do cold damage or freeze enemies to proc your extra damage from items you have, right? That's the whole thing. And the main reason you are using the person you're using is for these 4 skills at the top, right? You want these skills. And I have that one, and then sometimes I do this. Is that, like that one happens every 4 seconds, but the orb she launches moves so freaking slow. I don't think I've ever seen it actually hit anything. So I just generally do this one, right? This one happens way more often, but it seems way less, you know, effective, right? So now all it does reduce your cooldowns. Well, by how much? Well, you don't know unless that's on. Now, the thing is, her main stat is intelligence. So the more intelligence she has, the longer those skills last and the more effective they are. Now, they have a point they hit where they're maxed out. They don't get any lower. They don't do any more damage. They don't da-da-da. And once you have that much intelligence into them where their skills are maxed out, there's no point in putting any more into them, right? I need to turn that back on. Okay, show advanced tooltips. And we'll back out. Oh, wait a minute. I hit the wrong thing. I'm a bonehead. Must have turned 2 things on. Yeah, okay, turn that off. My bad. There we go. I'm talking and not reading. There we go. All right, and you've seen the box that came up, the tutorial box. And those are handy dandy when you're first learning to play the game. Great thing to have it on, like the first half of the season you're playing. Gives you all kinds of cool tips. But that's why you're watching me, so you can learn that. So then again, I lied. Don't do that. All right. So now when we look at her skills, right, reduces skill cooldowns by 8.39% based on Enchantress intelligence. So that'll go up till we hit her max, the max on that, right? Reduces damage by 6% from ranged attacks, increases armor by 3% as the see. So all that information wasn't on the other, right? Charms enemy fight 8 seconds. Before it just said charms enemy. So all those green numbers, all that wasn't there. Right? And so yeah, and then so as you're like, I don't have this one built very well yet. So normally, like, she's an enchantress. She's based on intelligence. I'm running an intelligence-based character. So early on, yes, you want to use, if you're using a strength-based character, you want to use your Templar. He's strength-based. If you're running a dexterity-based character, run the Scoundrel. He's dexterity-based. If you're running an intelligence-based character, run your enchantress. That'll help you get them geared up faster, right? And get their skills working faster. Later game, you can change that up. Like, generally speaking, in reality, I like to run the scoundrel. And which is odd, almost everybody wants the enchantress, but I'm weird. I'm weird and strange. Because for me, like right here, crippling shot, yeah, I believe. Because it happens every 4 seconds, that's what I go with, right? Instead of say, oops. That one, like, you can see it has more effects, right? Stuns, right? So if you do more damage when something is stunned, like say with the barbarian when he stomps, he does a stomp and stuns them, and then you'll want that instead, right? Like almost everybody, well, that's a crowd control effect. A lot of characters you do more damage to a crowd control, right? But I don't just go with this. I haven't, just because it happens more often, man. I know that's so juvenile to think of it that way on that one, but that's just right. I'm sure I should pay more attention to this, and I'm explodes on impact, dealing 120% weapon damage as arcane to enemies within 10 yards. It has a 100% chance to stun enemies for 3 seconds based on Scoundrel's dexterity. Right, so that means that 3 seconds goes up. The more dexterity in the character, the longer that'll last, and the higher the weapon damage will be. And generally, so the larger the area of effect will be, right? The 100%, probably don't get higher than 100%. Maybe I haven't done it enough, but definitely that 3 seconds will go higher the more dexterity, right? And then hysteria, right? Whenever you or the scoundrel land a critical hit, you both will go into hysterics, increasing all damage done by 3% for 3 seconds, which will go up, right? Which basically it's you increase your attack speed. Your attack speed goes up. Increase all damage done. And probably your attack speed. But that's a pretty good one. But I generally use this one with this wizard. Increase critical hit chance. Right? For you and the scoundrel. It's a passive that just gives you increased critical hit chance. And I think at max it's like 10. It's not a small number. It's enough to be, that I use it, because even a little bit of critical hit chance, extra crit chance, helps supply arcane for this character, right? Because where the heck is it? Here, on the Firebird's Eye, right? Critical hits grant 4 arcane. So it's an arcane gen. Crit hits are arcane generators. So even if you don't have a high amount of critical hit damage, you want to make sure you at least have a lot of crit hit chance, right? Oh, I must be on invite only. So Tag Slayer just joined the chat. Tag Slayer also has his own Twitch channel. It's Tag Slayer 1990, right? I'll check. I'll look. He's not in chat yet. I'm sure he's working. He's coming. He'll be here. Let's see. Not a lot. How you do? Are you streaming?
I'm including my audio. I will be here in a minute.
All right.
I just got off work, so it's going to be a little second
nice,
here.
nice. Take your time. I was just going over menus and stuff because I had not done that yet. So, Where was
Dude,
I?
what's
I
the word on
was.
this star field, dude?
Um.
I heard you and Jordan talking about
y-
something with transgender something crap in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. There's. Yeah, I'm gonna say like, yeah, I might offend some of my listeners, but there's woke agenda woven into it. The transgender thing, which is like people are all acting like it's the new hot thing, but it's not. The idea of the transgender idea is over 10,000 years old. There's discussions about it going all the way back to Socrates and Plato and Aristotle, and all, like it's not a new idea. So the ideas behind it have been soundly defeated by logic and reasoning and 10,000 years ago, right? And philosophy, right? The philosophy behind it, and it's
Well, you already lost me at the transgender spot. I won't play it.
no, well,
I know
it's
I'll offend my viewers, but I don't really care. I
yeah,
just here's the thing: if you want to be, if you're a woman and you want to be a man, that's cool. That's respected. I
yep,
respect your choice, or yeah, I respect your choice, and I will respect you as a human. But I do not accept that shit, nor do I have
yeah,
to.
no, yeah. That's a general tenet of proper logic in thinking is, and that goes to the duality of man and thought. It's logical and reasonable to be able to entertain an idea or thought without accepting it. Right? So you can talk about it. You can talk about it. You can go over it. You can hash it. You can talk about all the ideas and how it would work, plan it out, and never accept that idea. Right? You can even tell people you're free to do that idea all you want. I don't care, but I don't accept it. And that's one of those things that comes with having rational conversation that's been slowly woven out of our society. This is my opinion, by the way, just my opinion. There's no fact or search or logic or studies, but since I was a kid, this insidious idea that talking about politics and religion, which in general is philosophy in general, those things together are what compromises the idea of philosophy, right, are not cool to talk about. And since we don't talk about them on a regular basis, when people do get together and start talking about them, emotions are immediately high. People immediately start losing it on either side. And it's stupid. It's freaking stupid. Anyways, so I'm way off. But early in on that game, early in the creation of your character, it asks you, like, it's kind of mandatory that you have to select pronouns, right? They don't give you a choice. Do you want to select, or however it's worded? I guess it's pretty upfront in your face about the pronouns thing, right? Which I don't know. Just thinking basic, like a logically, basically, you don't get to choose your own pronouns, man. Right? Pronouns are indicators of reality, like that's a fast car or that's not a fast, right? It's you don't they them, and here's two that kills me. You want to be called they them, which indicates multiple personality disorder, which indicates psychological right. It's just so disassociative that I can't even. It just. But yeah, this whole stream just got flagged. It's getting kicked off YouTube. Sorry, people. Sorry.
Do you think
Anyways,
they'll
back
take
to
that
the
off YouTube for
menus.
that?
Yeah, yeah, you can get kicked off YouTube for thought crimes, basically, not thinking properly, for saying stuff like that. Can get you
But
flagged.
that's not.
But
No,
I'm
no,
not
no, no,
even
no, 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 no.
demonetized. I'm not making money, so they
How,
can't demonetize
let's
me.
hear me out though. Well, they can't demonetize you for nothing, even if
Yeah.
you were getting money. They can't demonetize nothing because here's the thing, Paul. You simply stated your views and way of life. There's no law that says you have to respect them because they're a fucking. That's
That
like
is
this new
true.
law coming out saying that we have to
Here's
respect sex offenders.
here's
We have to
no.
socially norm
Res-
that they're liking little people or whatever they call that crap. No,
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
no like
That's
for
not
that.
no. Yeah, no, 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 no.
That is not
Okay,
right. There's
but
no
here's the
no to
thing. Let
that.
me.
But yeah.
True. Agreed. There's no law, but here's the thing. Twitch and YouTube and Facebook have their internal community standards, right? And they have a specific clause in there about
Okay.
hate speech.
I
And
I
hate speech is
I get
whatever
that and
they
understand that.
decide it is.
I get
Right? It's really
I get
vague.
that and understand that, but here's the thing: is for me and you, we don't make money off of this. But let's say
No.
you were like J Device, who streams Call of Duty, okay, and he
Right.
probably makes a lot of money. He's really fucking
Oh
good at
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Anyway, if you were him and they demonetized you on YouTube because you made a simple statement that said you didn't say nothing disrespectful about the transgender community at all.
he's trying to
You just
crash my
simply
channel on
stated that you do
purpose.
not well, no, you
Yeah,
just
I
simply
know.
stated that you don't accept the way, but you respect them. You
Yes,
respect
I
them
can
and their
entertain
choice
the
as a human.
idea. I can
And you respect it.
Right.
You
Right.
have
can
to
do whatever.
respect another person's choices,
I can
but you
respect
do not
that
have to
choice.
accept them.
Right, but I don't have to expect the idea, and I don't have to affirm
But
a disorder, right? So, like, if the old guy across the
yeah,
street starts dressing like Napoleon, like running around with a big paper boat on his head and calling it a hat and wearing red pajamas and sticking his hand in his shirt, calling himself Napoleon and demanding everyone call him Napoleon, I don't call up France. I don't call up the president and say, "Hey, Napoleon's out here and he wants his country back." You should, right? No, no. We call the padded wagon and he goes and gets checked out. Like, and it's the same thing. Like, there's been this contagion of the idea.
well, all I'm saying is, you could take them to court under the simple notion of this.
Yeah,
You never said anything
if I had the
disrespectful,
money.
and now them taking you off, you wouldn't even need the money. Any lawyer would suck that up to take money from
Yeah,
YouTube
you'd
or from
surprise
Facebook.
it.
And here's the only reason why. Is because they violated your Second Amendment right or whatever. It's not Second Amendment. It's First Amendment or whichever one it is for freedom of speech.
Right.
Your First Amendment. Yeah, that is your freedom of speech. They cannot take that away from you. No entity can put a policy in that violates that if they want to go to court over something.
No. Okay, here's
Because the law will always
I know you
suit the
believe that.
Constitution.
I know you believe that, and you're correct in about half of that. But here's the thing: the First Amendment only applies to the state.
The First Amendment applies to the federal law.
Yeah, right. Which applies to the
federal law.
federal
That's not
government.
state.
Yeah, the federal.
Yeah.
The federal government is a state. The state, right? As in big S, not little s. The state, as in the
okay, I
state
see what you're saying.
apparatus.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know,
I get
the
what you're saying now.
government of the state of Montana, the government, right? Yeah, okay. The federal government.
Well, I'm just sickened.
State.
I'm
Big-
just sickened
big
with
T,
where
big S.
our world is right now. I'm pretty sickened with it.
Like I said, like in more private. Yeah, something happened today. You're all in a mood. They need to teach more philosophy in school, and they don't for a reason, right? Okay. Anyways, let's move on. I'm sorry. Let's move on. I'm trying to go over the options and the menu, and I was in this menu. I was talking about the follower. I was talking about skills. I was on my inventory and how crit hits are an arcane generator for this build, right? Let's see. And then how our set bonuses work. Disintegrate ignites enemies, causing them to take 3,000% weapon damage per second until they die. So they're constantly taking that 3,000% weapon damage, right? Does it say as fire?
Sounds like a lot until you're fighting a juggernaut in a 140, and then it's like, well, where's this 3,000%
trillion, yeah, with 50 trillion health. All right, and if you die, a meteor falls from the sky that revives you, and that can only happen every 60 seconds. It has a 60-second cooldown, right? Casting Disintegrate adds combustion stacks that reduce the cooldown of teleport by 2% per stack, stacks up to 50 times, right? You gain 80% damage reduction while maintaining combustion stacks. That means if you have 1 or you have 50, you have 80% damage reduction, right? So that's what makes it so tanky. So, and I'm going over this so you know how to read, like, on your various builds, how it works. You can work it out in your head, what you need to add to it and subtract to it, especially with the new Paragon board. I'm still working on all that. Okay, and then the six set piece bonus, you gain 5,000 increased damage while Ignite is applied to a target, right? Which is anytime you hit somebody with your Disintegrate Ray, they are automatically ignited and they're taking that 3,000% damage, right? So, my weapon damage also, in general, goes up by 5,000% anytime something is ignited now that I have the six piece bonus, right? While Ignite is applied to the target. Okay, hitting an ignited target with a non-channeling fire spell deals Ignite damage multiplied by combustion stacks, right? So they added this a few seasons back that pets cannot trigger the effect because on PC they were using the mirror image to trigger it, or they were using hydras, which are also considered pets, to trigger that damage. So that left on PC and on Xbox. The only way you can trigger it now is with your explosive blast or with your fire tornadoes. Now on PC, you cannot channel. You cannot consider, right? So you can't hold your ignite down. You can't channel your beam and launch these tornadoes at the same time on PC, which obviously you can do here, which is why we use the Gale Force tornadoes, right? And the explosive blast. So you're up in their face doing that damage. All right. Doodly-doo, back down to the bottom. Okay, and I was looking at, like, it's been a while since I've read this. And I was wondering if it said anything specific about fire damage in any of the descriptions. And it doesn't, which kind of sucks. But your percentage of fire damage, even a few points of fire damage, because that's the whole thing is based around damage and fire damage. So even a few points of fire damage end up being a lot of extra damage, right? That's why you want to make sure there's fire damage on your Firebird's Eye, right? You want to make sure you have, oh, I'm just wearing this. Why am I wearing this? Probably because I was playing with people and just had it on. Oh, and I was trying to roll for fire damage on those. You can see, like, when you look at the Nemesis bracers in the upper right-hand corner of the placard, see that little swirl? That means that it's been enchanted, right? And then when you look at the list of effects on it, the affixes, cold damage, intelligence, you see the 18% cold damage has got the little swirls on it. That means that's the affix that I was trying to change. Basically, that I was, my brain is so broken, that I was trying to enchant. Okay? So you can see all these have that little, most of them have the little swirl, which means I've enchanted them. Right? So you want fire damage on your Firebird's Eye, you want fire damage on your bracers. If you can get it, you want fire damage and both crit hit and crit damage on your necklace. Whether you're running whatever the necklace is, you want fire crit, and then you can add and then hopefully you can get one that's ancient that you can augment with more intelligence later, so the intelligence isn't necessary. You want your crit fire and a socket. So when you're looking for a good one, you're looking for one that's ancient and has at least 3 of those 4 affixes on it, right? Because then there will always be something you can roll off to get your 4th affix. But it's still pretty hard to find a necklace. And some necklace, like Traveler's Pledge, Squirts isn't quite as bad. It doesn't have quite as many affixes. But like Traveler's Pledge has a bunch of different affixes it can come with. Let's see if I can, because I already rolled it. Let's see. Yeah, right. I mean, that list isn't very long, but some of the other affixes are huge. It's still a lot. It's not like there's other ones where there's only like 4 items on that list, right? So that's still a pretty good list. Okay. Going over menus. Okay, went over the advanced tooltips, your options, and again, that's under gameplay. You want the elective mode turned on, and advanced tooltips. I went by it. Where the heck did it go? There it is. Show advanced tooltips. You want that turned on. All right. Next, in your menus, that covers challenges, just your general challenges in different areas, right? I don't know why it's not showing anything for that. And I know I should, hardcore, I haven't done any items. Did it. Change difficulty. When you're in seasonal mode, here, like if you're just getting smacked too much, you can, without quitting out of the game, you can go down one level, right? But once you do that, then you're set there. You have to quit out to change it again. But you cannot go up one, but you can go down one in seasonal without leaving the game, without quitting out. Your leaders boards. Get a drink here. Your leaders boards. All right, challenges, greater rifts, conquests, and you go through those by toggling your left and right bumpers. Challenges, you have your seasonal challenges, single player, 2-player, 3-player, 4-player. Right. So this lets you know your score, how many you've gotten done, right? So I don't have a whole lot of friends on my streaming list here. Your global position, like I'm down at 2,000, right? I'm not pushing hard to get them, right? Global position, top global. Shows you guys at the very top who've got all the seasonal challenges done and the date they got them done on. Single player, right? Same thing. I don't have any of these. Your greater risks. So on your dial, right? Your 2-player, right? Which shows you your friends, like how high the highest rift they done and their rank on the global position. Global position, like I'm only 430, like 435, which means 2-man. That's how high and how fast 2 people have gone in a greater rift. Top global is a 150. They ran a 150 in 11 minutes, and you can see that it was HBP 3300 and the Mystic Ninja. Right now they're on top of 150s with the 11 minutes. They had a barb, which this is going to be a support barb, and I'm betting this was a Talrasha Wiz. Yep, Talrasha Wiz. Like, they're really powerful. They are powerful. I just can't, like I said a bunch of times, I can't play them. I don't know. I just can't. I can't keep them alive. I'm just dead all the time, and I get all irritated and mess that. Why be all irritated all the time? I'd rather, if I'm playing a character that's not quite as powerful and I don't get as high, as long as I'm having fun, I'm happy. And then this is a support barb, a Z barb. So this barbarian does 0 damage, right? The whole point of this barb is to, if you look at skills, right? Ground stop and wrenching smash to stun, right? So the character does more damage, right? Let me see his skill. Promise glory. So ground stomp, 80% damage reduction. That's for the barb, right? So he can stay alive longer. Every 8 seconds they need to stomp, whether it's to group stuff together for the DPS character or just to stomp for the 80% damage reduction, right? Executioner, and this is the thing. Like, anytime there's a group, and it's basically like a whirlwind barb, they use whirlwind. Every time an enemy gets down to 10% and they hit them with Executioner, they kill the enemy. They automatically exit. So the Z-Barb actually kills most everything on the screen. You know, he doesn't do any damage, but he just takes out that last 10%. Right? And then you go, like, it doesn't say what most of these skills do. Ignore pain, right? That's damage reduction. Harpoon, that hooks guys together. War Cry, Hardened Wrath. Can't remember if that's. But all this stuff gives people damage reduction, damage, and crit damage, I think. All these fixes on. Right? They're group play affixes or skills. Like, we'll build one later. I'm sure we'll get around to building one. And then it goes around, like, 4-player top global. They've done a 150 in 6 minutes, 9 seconds. So that would be this. This Demon Hunter is a ZDH. They're there to tie guys up, slow them down, and increase your crit hit chance. This is actually a Z-neck also, I believe. Unless it's the LOD. Then the Guardians Towers. I think it's actually the ZDH. Or Z-Necro. This is the main DPS, Mage Damage Creator, which is Talrach's. And again, a Z-Bar. Right? Next group. See, so you can look at that. Then you can look at singular. Right? Overall, top Barbarian is done in 127. Solo. These are solo. Now, these are solo, what they've done solo. Top Crusader is done in 130, and you can look and see what build they were using. Right? Aegis of Valor, basically. Demon Hunter, top global, is done in 129, and it's a Gears of the Dreadland build, GOD build. Monk, an Inna's build. It's an Inna's build, yeah. You can look at their skills. So if you're putting together, this is very, very helpful. If you're putting a build together and you're not, you know, you've got a character and you're not sure what to run with. And on top of that, this is overall, right? On top of that, if you look right under where it says Greater Rifts and Conquests and whatnot, you can toggle through No Peace Set, Patterns of Justice, in his mantra, and you can see the highest rift the global position has run with that build. Right? So, overall top global. What the heck? I may have been wrong on what that build was. Yeah, it's in his mantra. All right, your necro builds. Top guy's running 150 already. Solo necro, and this is the LOD build. LOD means it is what? Oh, maybe it's the Trigouls. Not for sure. We'll find out. No peace. These are going to be your LOD right there. There you go. LOD. See the gem, Legacy of Dream Gems, which means it's all based on having legendaries, ancients, and primals, and no set bonuses, right? It's all just put together around certain type of damage. Masqueraded Burning Carnival. The Pestilence build, Grace of Venarius, they've only done a 106. See, this is like one of mine. Like that build, that's the build I like. Ghouls. Okay, so it's a Ghouls build. I thought for sure that they, well, okay, and again, now I believe on the PC leaderboards, on the tier builds, that I thought it was a Necro LOD build was supposed to be the number one build. But see, now here on console, it's a Ghouls. Witch Doctor. Oh, I thought they were supposed to have an S tier 150. Top Global was done a 125. And then we're playing a Wiz. Herb Man has done a 147, and it's a Tal Rosh's build. And now, right now, we are running, okay, no set, which is the LOD build, right? Then ran a 114. The Typhon's got a 105. Tal Rosh is 147. Del Sears Magnum Opus has done a 119. Veer's Amazing Arcana has done an 80. That's not bad for Veer's, actually. Firebirds has got a 136. So it's still a top tier build, right? It's not as strong as Tal Rosh's, but like I said, I just have a hard time keeping that build going and keeping her alive.
Sunflower seeds, dude.
All right. I kind of turned you down for a while, Tags. Little man in the background was being a little too much. Where else was I on these? I should turn it up a little louder than that so I know when he's. There we go. All right. Forget what I see how easy it is for me to forget what I was doing. Okay, leaderboards. Right, and this is also where you check out your conquests, right? Oh, also too, like I was saying, you can look at their build. Death Wish, he's got a Primal Death Wish. Ancient Talons, just straight legendary. And you can see the affixes he rolled Vitality, but he's got, like, oh, your shoulders should always have both cooldown and resource reduction on it. That's what you're shooting for on those. Your gloves, you want both crits. Crit intelligence, and he's augmented these with a 125 gem and added 625 intelligence to the piece. Right, see down where it was a 625 intelligence, Kaladin sends despair. Right, and then he rolled additional cooldown on it. Right, because cooldown's a big thing on this because you want to keep your diamond skin up as much as possible because it adds an extra layer of damage reduction. And where's their down? And here. And Prism adds arcane generation, like 9 per second or 9 per crit hit or whatever. So you want that's to get 100% uptime on that. And that's also why you run the Obsidian Ring, right? Because reduce the remaining cooldown of one of your skills by 1 second when you hit with a resource spending attack. All your attacks spend resource, right? Your disintegrate ray, your tornadoes, and your explosive blast all use arcane, right? It's a resource genning. So it really, really helps keep your cooldowns low, right? And keep all your skills up 100, especially diamond skin 100% of the time. All right. Leaderboards. Conquest. And this is where you come see what the conquests are for the season, right? And so conquest 1, sprinter, complete acts 1 through 5 at max level in under an hour. Right? Not so easy. That's you're generally not going to do that solo. There's no way you're doing that solo. Actually, you need to have 3 or 4 people in your lobby, and one person is always going to the next objective. So like so you play with somebody who's been with somebody through the campaign enough to know what the next objective is. So while you're working an objective, somebody's always working the next one. So you're trying to say 2 steps ahead. And then they're waiting. So as soon as you complete one objective, they can complete the next one, right? And then the other guy completes the next. And you just keep doing that. You keep setting it up. And that's how you get it done. Avarice, complete a 50 million gold streak while outside the vault and the inner sanctum. Right, so outside the vault, the inner sanctum is, and I think you can do this in the cow level, which is that red portal. But I mean, this is super easy. Like, you get a boon of the hoarder and you level it to 50. You put gold skin on your follower, an avarice band if you have it, but otherwise, and then you just go out and you start running Nephilim rifts, and it'll happen. It'll just happen automatically, right? There's so much gold to be falling. If you have a level 50 boon of the hoarder in one of your necklaces or rings and gold skin on your follower, it's just going to happen. It'll happen. You'll get it. You won't even realize it. You'll just all of a sudden get the achievement. The thrill. Reach greater rift 45 solo without any set items. So you're going to want to put together basically an LOD build to do that. Even just a random set, if you level up an LOD gem to like 25, right? Generally, that's all you need. You need it like to 25. And then you just put together, a set of random legendary items, just orange, no green items at all, and go run a 45 solo with it. And you get a huge boost from that LOD gem. So as long as you build something you're around something you're used to, it's easy. Years of War, reach Greater Rift 55 solo with the full 6-piece bonuses of the following class sets, right? Whoops. And then here you hit Y to view details, right? And it lets you know these are all the different sets you can use for that. And I don't actually think that's all of them. I think there's more. I'm just not sure where to look for it. All right. Oh well. Details. Campaign. Co-op. These are the same. Those are conversations. Yep. Oh well, I know it's somewhere. I believe there's more sets to that than what that shows, but I'm not 100%. Sorry for the long pause there. About done going over the seasonal journey, of course. See me going through this a few times, right? These are your chapters. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 chapters, right? First four are just labeled 1 through 4. And then you have Slayer, Champion, Destroyer, Conqueror, and Guardian. And you just hover your dial over which one you want to look at, right? Press A to choose category, and then you can scroll, right? And you can toggle the order, right? And I believe that'll just toggle, like here, we'll go to this one. If I toggle it, it'll go to the ones I have completed and the ones uncompleted. There we go. And then that just shows the objectives in the order they're normally listed. Right? So the ones, obviously the ones that are red are the ones that are completed. Right? And the ones that are gray are uncompleted. You just highlight each one to see what they are. And you can view rewards. You get a portrait frame. See, it's the same portrait frame until bah. Right, so view rewards, portrait frame, and a pet. And you actually don't get to claim those until you get the 4th chapter done. Then you actually get those to claim. And then when you complete the whole season, all your seasonal journey, you get that pet and those wings. And you get that portrait frame, that extra portrait frame. So those are all the perks you get for completing your journey. Now, when you're playing, and I'm sure some of you seen that when I was playing, when you're playing Seasonal Journey, if you have one of these completed, you got all 4 of them checked, right? Or each one checked, everything in it's red, it's all done, you got them done. You press X to view rewards, and I'll show you what, here, we'll go to this one. Press X to view rewards, right? And then if I had not claimed these, there would be an option that says press Y to claim. And you would press Y to claim your Hedrig's gift. And once you claim that with one character, that's it, it's done. If you start another character, you don't get another set of these to claim. You only get one Hedrig's gift, right? And say you only need 2 or 3 pieces out of a set for a character. You can just claim those 2 and then claim the rest with a different character, right? But generally, you want the whole 6-piece set. So, and it'll be the same thing when we get here. View rewards, and I'm not sure I have to claim these. I think I'll just get these automatically when I finish the season journey. Help. That right. So you can see it like takes you to the Xbox menu, and that's why it put up the pause frame on the Twitch stream. All right, now here in this menu, right, which is just like your main pause menu, it shows her. Oh, he went offline. Shoot, I hope I didn't piss him off. Is he still in chat with me? Oh yeah, he's still in chat. Turn it back up a little. Might have muted his mic. Didn't mean to be rude, bro. All right. Now it'll show me now. I can go to invite friends, and you can't see the menu come up on my Xbox. Pulls up the dashboard, shows me friends I can invite, right? It also shows you who's on mic, who's not on mic, so forth. Oh, also down here on the bottom, network settings, the 2 square button, right? You can set your lobby to local, invite only, friends only, or open to public, right? And you just have randos floating in and out of your lobby. And that's all right. Like if you're running bounties and you just want to get them done faster, you open to public, and people look for those games. They look for public bounty games, and they'll join your game to run bounties. And they'll generally claim them as soon as they're done. If you're running with friends, generally you do all the bounties and then claim them at the end to make sure everybody's inventory is cleared out so they don't lose the bounty cash somewhere. Right? So, and I have it set on friends. Oakley dokley. Take Slayer is on, but he's in his own game. Oh, I won't join right now. Okay. I'll join him in a second. Hopefully he's not too upset with me. All right. Oh, I should see if he's streaming. Doesn't look like he's streaming yet. They're probably doing dinner and stuff right now too. So, oh, it's Tag Slayer 19. It's his channel. So, go ahead, give him a follow, give him a reason to stream some content, right?
What skill should I use?
Ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to go over really quick. Oh, we can go over this, the armory, really quick. Right, so you can save several different gear sets for each character. Each character you're running, you can save up to 10 different armor slots, right? So if you're running, you know, there's 6 different armor sets for each class, right? And you can save, and then you just one button and put them on, right? And generally I'll have 3 or 4 of these, right? And one will generally be like my farm set, one will be my push set, and then one will be like lower GRs, right? Because your farm set is for farming gold and death breath, which don't drop in a GR, so then you'll have a set that's just for lower GRs, right? Where you don't have your Boon of the Hoarder on, and right, you'll have it set up for a little more damage. Your chest, obviously, right? This is where your herodic caches, your gifts. When you claim your Hedrig's gift from your seasonal, that is where, after you claim it, it'll be right there on the top menu. And you just select it, select those, and drop them right on the ground out of the bag. Pick them up, and then identify them. And this is Book of Cain. It's in a different place. You know, every town is separate, different, but there's a Book of Cain in every town in which you can identify your legendaries, right? Because you've seen in my menus, it had them, but they weren't identified. So that's where you go to do that. Your jeweler combines your gems, can socket the gems, remove the gems. You can't remove the gems yourself. You have to come to the jeweler to remove your gems, but you can socket them yourself and train. He's trained to 12. And again, Miriam over here, the artisan Miriam, she's our enchantress. She enchants items and rolls slots. When you're doing that, you highlight, figure out which one of these you're going to roll off. Like I can't roll that fire damage. It is what it is. Right, but say, like, actually I like all those. Life per second, life per hit, intelligence, all good stuff. I mean, this is a good set of gloves. Right, came with 10% crit hit chance. I mean, if these were ancient, I'd probably just roll with them the rest of the season. Right, I might roll the intelligence higher. That's about it. Say I wanted to roll this gold for monsters off, for another affix. I would highlight it, I would press the X button, and it brings up all the various stuff. Like chance to hit on stun down at the bottom is a pretty good one. Chance to stun on hit. Like physical, arcane, all your resistances. You can roll it for anything on that list, right? And so if you need a socket, right, you want to put a socket on an item. Let's see. I have like this. This Chandoro's, right? Whoops. Go back into the Enchantress, look over. If I wanted to put a socket on this, right? I would look for an affix that I will enroll off that has, see, this has socket. It's the second one down on intelligence. See, I don't really need the meteor damage, need the maximum arcane, would need the crit hits grant arcane, need the crit hit chance, need the intelligence. The only thing, like this doesn't have fire damage, or if I needed a socket, right? So I'd go to the meteor damage, which I do not need for this particular build, right? But it's, you might use it on your Archon build. I don't know why you would, but then you can go in and you can see, you can roll that for cooldowns, resource cost reduction, area damage, bleed, weapon damage over 5 seconds, damage to elites. See, it's a big old list. That's a long list, right? So it's going to be tough to get the thing you need out of that list, right? Which would be that socket. So then you'd want to look for something else that has socket on it that you could roll off quicker. Whoops. Like that. This gold, nope, doesn't have it. And generally it's going to be, you see those top 5 affixes: damage, intelligence, crit, and arcane, or top 4. Those that you can roll. Those are the ones that are, oh, you can't roll the damage. The damage is static on this. But you wouldn't want to roll your damage off anyway. You wouldn't want to roll that off. So there's a socket on that. It's short list. Right? List. And then you just hit X to go back out. Right? You don't go down to the next one. See, there's your socket. Again, a short list. Crit hit. Short list. There's your socket. Meteor damage. There's your socket. But it's a kind of a long list. It's going to be, you're going to roll for a while to get that socket. Maximum arcane, you kind of need it, but again, that's a shorter list, but it doesn't have the socket on it, right? So you wouldn't want to roll that one. But you don't want a socket on your offhand anyway, unless it's a weapon. If it's like one of these orbs, or a shield, or a mojo, or anything like that, what is it on Necromancer? A filigree. You don't want a socket on those anyways. You want the extra affix. So if you're looking for a socket on your necklace or your ring, pretty much. Right? Those are the ones. All right. Is he still in? I think it's okay. Tags is still in the chat, but he probably muted his mic.
Yeah, I'm here. I was muted because I was purchasing something, and
Yeah,
I was buying the EA package. If you ever get the extra cash for it, it's 1,000,000,000%. Well, not for you actually. It ain't worth it because you don't even play them games. A lot of EA games. Do you play any EA games?
I don't think I
like
do.
Assassin's Creed or
Nope. Don't play that.
Then the other ones, yeah, there's not a lot you'd play then. But why I say that is because then if you download their games, like the Division, any Tom Clancy games, any of the Assassin's Creeds, any of the Far Cries, if you download the EA and pay the $15 a month when you buy their games, you get the full package for most of the games. Like it'll give you the full package with all the DLCs and everything.
Oh,
Like when
nice.
I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla off there, dude, I got all of the DLC packs, all the gear off of there, the weapons, the swords, the axes, all of it.
Sweet.
Yeah, so they hook you up pretty fat. It's worth paying for it because you get the DLCs for free if you own it. So that's a big plus. And any of the brand new games you can just buy. Like right now, I can go buy the new big game, which is why I bought it, was the Tom Clancy's Wildlands. And I can go buy that game for $14 right now, the whole game.
Nice.
$119 game for $14 because I have a Ubisoft Plus account.
That's pretty nice. Those Tom
Yeah,
Clancy
it's
games
super
are
nice.
pretty good. They're like I played a
It's the
lot of
most
them back in
so
the day.
for those that do watch, if you're watching the stream, check out the Ghost Recon games. Any of them. The reason
Yeah.
I say that is if you're into real life warfare, that is as close as you're going to get to real life warfare without actually being there. Like you're literally laying down in mud, covering yourself up to hide and stuff away from cars that are driving by. It's insane. And like if you play it on veteran mode, it is like real life. If you so much as snap a twig in the woods, it will alert the enemy. Like that kind of
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah. That's the old what is it? The silent what the heck was it? I can see the cover of it. Like one of the original Tom Clancy games was like that too. Like the majority of the game, you were sneaking around, and if you because if you alerted the guards, you were just overwhelmed. Just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
All right, you were listening. I went over most of the menus and stuff pretty well. I think that's spent a little bit
Yeah,
longer
you
on it
explained them
than
pretty
they
well.
did. Oh, the cube over here. I missed the cube. And obviously, right here, our blacksmith. You can craft
Yeah, I'll wait till this
weapons
weekend
right
to work on that though. Back to what I was doing.
after you get them trained up to 12. You can forge level 70 weapons and armor. This is where you salvage all the items you pick up. You're not using, you salvage. Right. This is where you repair, and you always salvage because see the gray stuff, that's reusable parts. You get that from all the gray items, and you use a lot of them. You use a lot of reusable parts. So pick up every gray item you see, and the cool thing is you get like somewhere between 7 to 10 reusable parts per item you pick up and salvage, right? The little blue thing is arcane dust, and you get those from regular blue magic weapons. And you get five, I think, 3 to 5 per salvaged item. And then the yellow item there is veiled crystal, and you get that from yellow items like this right here, right? Your yellow items. And you get one of those per item. One. Right? So you want to pick up, that's why early on and for quite a while into the game, you definitely want to gamble. You don't want to, anytime your blood shards are full that you spend here at Kadala, this is the gambler, the merchant Kadala, she gambles, pick up the blood shards and you gamble for random items here. And you want to do it consistently. You don't want to ever leave any on the ground. I always try and gamble for something that only costs 25, like pieces of armor, all only cost 25, right? And in here, if you look, right, mystery shields only cost 25, like filicries, quivers, mystery mojos, and mystery orbs. Like, so depending what character you're playing, you want to gamble for those here, right? Because almost everyone is at least yellow. You get a few blues once in a while, but these only cost 25, and the offhands are always super important. You want a good offhand. So this is where you gamble for them, and then salvage all the yellows, right? Or if you have enough veiled crystal and enough mats to upgrade a rare to legendary, which I obviously don't right now, right? Then you want to do that. That's what you need: your veiled crystal, your arcane, and your reusable parts to upgrade your rares to legendary, right? And then your legendaries, when you salvage those, you get one forgotten soul, right? And you use those over here if you're crafting the green set items or any legendary item. Where's a legendary belt here? Like this quick draw. Nope, that's not a level 70. Now these, like these blue items, these are green set items over here, 3-4 piece set items that you can craft. They all use your bounty mats, the materials you get from your bounty caches for doing bounties. Craft these set items, the green set items. See something that's gonna have, oh, weapons. We'll go to weapons. Right, let's see. Okay. Oop. See, set items, field crystal. I could have swore you needed. Here we go. Required materials, the second one in, that is your Forgotten Souls, and you get those from salvaging legendary items. You get 1 per regular legendary item. You get 3 if it's ancient legendary, right? And you used to get 5, I think, if it was primal legendary. 5 or 10. It was a lot. You got a lot. But they since have changed that to when you salvage a primal item, you get, it's going to be all the way at the bottom.
Are you talking about how
Primordial
many Forgotten
ashes.
Souls you used to got?
Yeah.
You used to get 15 Forgotten Souls for Primal. 3 for an
15?
Ancient,
Yeah.
and then 1 for
Regular
Legendary.
Yep. And
Yep.
now from a primal, you get these primordial ashes. And with those,
Which help you
can
cheat
craft like
a
this
recipe.
sword. Yep. You can turn any legendary item into a primal, which means all that means. Okay, so okay, let's look at our stuff here. Okay, so you have legendary, right? And I'll select and look down where it says stats range, push to the left on your crossbar, and it tells you your stat range. So that weapon, the intelligence level can be anywhere from 625 to 750, right? And let's see if I have an ancient on here. I don't even think I do. Well, I have this primal I made. But if I select it and hit the stat range, stat range is already on, right? So it's 1,000, right? They're all maxed. Your stat range will always be maxed on a primal. Oh, here we go. This is ancient, right? So your intelligence level will be a little bit higher possibility on an ancient, right? Your stat range versus a legendary. See, that caps it. That legendary right there caps at 500. The ancient legendary caps at 650. And see, the primal is 1,000. Unless I think a primal armor piece caps at 800. Does it cap at 800? Or no, it caps at 650 also, I think.
What's that?
Armor.
Armor
range on like
caps
intelligence.
the intelligence caps at 650.
650.
All I gotta do is go look real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, it caps
all,
at 650.
all
The only
primal
ones that go
means,
above that are the only ones that'll go above that is helm, amulet, and ring. Or yeah, helm and amulet actually. The only ones that go above that, and then weapons. Because your helm will cap out at 1,000. Your amulet is actually I think 1,000 as well. And then I know your
believe
weapons
so,
will go to
yeah.
1,000.
So, and if it's primal, all that means is every stat is maxed. The range is, there's no longer a range, it's max stat every time for primal. That's the only reason people want them is because all the stats will be max. They don't have to roll.
Even if you go to
anything.
re-roll
if they
one,
roll anything
every
off,
option it gives you, it'll all be max. Yeah.
Yep. And now I already made this primal, but if I had enough primordial ashes to make another primal, which it costs you 100, and you get 55 primordial ashes per primal you salvage. Is that right? Yeah, 55, and it costs you 100 to upgrade, I believe. That's why I have 10 left. See, yeah, I'm out. And if you look at the recipe right there, one legendary item, 100 primordial ashes, make it primal. Now, it sounds cool, like, hey, why don't you just do that with all the... Well, you can only wear one of these that you've crafted in the cube at a time. One. And you can always tell on somebody's build, right? Because otherwise, just the border would be red, right? You see how this is regular legendary, and it's kind of a plain Jane border. And you look down to this ancient, and you can see the border. You can see the differences between the border. That belt has those extra little points in the corners, or that doesn't. That's how you can tell it's ancient. Right? And primal, obviously, it's red. Now with a natural primal, the border around the sword on the inner placard where it's all red, that's going to be orange, just like your regular legendary. See around the picture of the glove, the Mage Fist is orange. That's red. That's how you tell the difference. And it's got the little pentagon in the corner. That's how you know it's crafted in the cube. All right. Or maybe it just has the pentagon. No, it would have that pentagon in the corner anyways, because it's primal. It's just the red on the inner placard denotes it was made in the cube. Okay, stuff you can do in the cube. Extract legendary powers. So most, not all legendary items have a legendary affix, right? So if we look at this, take 74 or less damage. I probably have a few Halo screens, but so I'll extract this. Well, I can't. I don't have enough death breath. But what happens when you extract the power, right? Let's see it one. I can definitely know the range on 90. That's this one, for instance, the Quillicurus. This is well above 90. Once you extract the power, then we'll look. I'll have to go X out of here. And it goes back to the range idea, right? So, fire skill. Look at this Mage Fist down where the orange type is. That tells you what the legendary affix is on this legendary item. Fire skills deal 8% increased damage. The range is 15 to 20. Now, if I extract that in the cube as a power I can equip under powers, that is going to be max, right? That will be the max. It will be just like a primal affix, right? So it'll be 20. It would be 20 in the cube. So even if it's like a level 1 legendary item with the affix, right, range, I'd extract that power, put it in the cube, and it would have the max range on that item in the cube every time. Sometimes sometimes you'll get one that has a legendary affix, and if the level is too low, it won't extract the power. They're like, no, you're not going to take something with one, and a level 1 primal you just happen to get while you were a level 1. That's right. So it won't even allow you to extract the power unless the item is a high enough level to start with. They're just like, no way, man, not happening. All right, other nifty stuff. Reforge a legendary, right? So I can take that. Oh, and I have enough stuff to do it. Let's see. Yeah, I can waste some mats here, right? Let's say like this Halo of Creamy. It's got one crit on it. I'd like to get one with both crits and the socket. And I believe like a lot of your rings come with a socket. Everyone. Every convention of element comes with a socket. Every Halo of Creamy comes with a socket, right? Some don't. I think Rachel's Grand Larceny, da-da-da. But the rings that are popular that people use a lot, almost all of them, come with a socket. Halo of Creamy, Convention of Elements, I think Halo of Arnesy probably. Ring of Grandeur doesn't, because generally people just put it in the cube. Although the obsidian ring of the Zodiac, which I don't have one right now, is super popular to use on builds. It does not come with a socket, right? So, Reforged Legendary. If I say it didn't have that, whatever, or I wanted one with like the range on that, I believe is 60 something to 80 for your damage reduction on that, or I want it to be ancient so I can augment it, right? So you can reforge this legendary. See, now that sucks because I lost it's still only 74 and I lost my one crit. And I used up 5 of each of those bounty mats and 50 forgotten souls, right? 50 forgotten souls. It's kind of expensive. You need to farm the heck out of your GRs to get legendaries, to salvage them, to get enough forgotten souls to do that like 20 times and hopefully reforge that ring into a primal. Like, because you can do that. You can take that ring or any legendary item, even a set item, and reforge it. And you have a chance of it coming back primal. Right? Max stat says legendary, ancient legendary, or primal. Ancient legendary, right? So that's a big reason why people reforge these. And early in game, I'll reforge one a few times just to get one like one that has a socket or it has a crit on it so I can roll the other crit. Simple stuff. Roll it once or twice. You know, otherwise, you're farming bounty mats all day long, right? You'll spend a day farming bounty mats so that you have.
Don't act like you ain't never done some shit like that.
200. Yeah, and I've done it. I farmed it all day long. Farmed up like 1,000 bounty mats and stupid like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,000 forgotten souls. So I could reforge stuff, each item that I'm, 20 times to try and get a primal out of it. If you don't get a primal within 20, junk it. Because the chances of it coming back, it's if you don't get one in 40, it's definitely junk. It doesn't have a primal roll in it. It's all random.
Well, turn it off.
Most of them will come back primal.
I'm pretty cold. I'm ready to
you
turn
have
this
to
off.
reforge that particular one to get it to come back ancient or primal. And sometimes there's just not a primal roll in it. You hit 40, salvage it. Right? You've wasted all your mats. And that's why you'll see in my stash, I have several of each of these, right? Of the items I'm generally wearing and using. And I'll generally save up like 10 of each, right? And as soon as I got enough mats to whichever item I'm, like, it'll probably be the Death Wishes first. Because then I'll have picked up enough random primals, because rarely do you get one that's for your set and good and usable. Right? It's you do, but it's not, generally not a good one. Right? So then I'll get this, a good reforged primal out of my cube for the Death Wish. And then by then I should have a couple other primals. Or even that junk primal. Right? It comes out primal and it's junk, I can't use it. I can salvage it, get the primordial ashes, so I have it to make another next time primal, right? So once I get a natural primal here, then I would probably move over, and the next, it's a toss-up between the necklace and the Firebird's Eye that you would want for you. Want your weapon, your Firebird's Eye, on this build anyways, your weapon, your offhand, and your Traveler's Pledge, right? Or your necklace. It's hard to get one with 2 crits, fire damage, and a socket. Same with this. It's not too hard. You want one like this one. Let's see. This one's got intelligence, fire skill damage, and crit damage, and grants 4 arcane. That's you want all those stats. Those are 4 necessary stats. Fire damage. Well, you can live without the intelligence. You can roll that on later. But definitely you want fire damage, crit hit chance, and crit hits grant arcane. You want those 3 things. You want them as high as you can get them. And then you can always roll intelligence on later. If you don't have a stat, you can roll for intelligence, but generally you do. So, right? And it's hard to get. Like, this one's decent, but it's just legendary. I need one like that that's ancient, so I can then augment it and add intelligence to it. And we'll get to that. Right? Upgrade rare item. You craft a rare item. You bring it over here. I don't even think I have enough to gamble with right now. Nope. And I don't have enough to upgrade one anyways. And you can upgrade an item from rare to legendary, right? And it's a random. It's going to be random, right? So, say to get a death wish, I would craft 5 or 10 of these, right? And I would bring them over here, and I would upgrade them from rare to legendary to try and get my legendary sword, my death wish. But again, it's expensive. 25 death breath, 50 reusable parts, 50 arcane dust, 50 gold crystal, right? So that's why you pick everything up while you're farming. So you and salvage it so you can get
Hey,
those
Paul.
mats. Yes, sir.
Two things. One, Xbox will download, like if I just started a game download and then shut the Xbox off, it'll still download the game. Like install
I
it.
think so. If it's like the newer Xbox, you can.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
that's an
Series
option.
X.
You can. Yeah. It'll do that. I think.
I know it updates my games if it's off. It updates them if it's off. Because PlayStation don't do that.
Yeah, I think Xbox does. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
positive it'll download an entire game while it's off. I've never really done that because usually I just.
Well, we're about to find out because I got 2 of them going. So anyway,
And
but
you got
I
to
am
take
gonna
off
hop
for
off
the
for the
night.
night.
All right.
Yeah,
You have a
I'm
good
gonna use
evening.
the restroom and get everything ready for work tomorrow.
All right. I'll catch you later, bro.
So, all right, yeah, I'll be on tomorrow.
Yep. Bye. All right. Next little thing you can do in here, convert set item, right? So this Firebird's Talon. Say I've got 4 of the pieces I need for a set, and I need five pieces to get my 6th set, right? Because I got a ring of grandeur that reduces the number of items I need for the set bonus by 1. I can come here and I can convert that Firebird Talon. Well, I don't have enough Death Breath, right? And this is one of the cheapest things you can do in the cube because it's only 10 Death Breath, 10 Forgotten Souls. And you can convert that. And it's random. Again, it's any of the any one of the 6 items in this set, right? And it can't be ancient. It's just going to be regular legendary. See right in red. Resulting item cannot be ancient. So you can try and get the extra set piece you need for your build, right? So and that also helps, like when I'm, like say I've got my shoulder pads and they're primal already, but I got a bunch of extra shoulder pads in here. I only got one right now because I'm kind of lowly. I can then convert that to another one of these that I don't have as many, right? And then reforge that to try and get my primal. But again, this is very time and labor intensive. You have to do a lot of farming to get your mats and a lot of time in front of the cube. If you're okay with that, if you can spend a day just doing that, it is part of the game, right? And it's time, or you can just run and get what you get and only reforge something a few times to get an ancient that's workable, right? Like this one. The stat range isn't really good on this, right? But it's ancient, so I can augment it. So early on, and then hope I get something better later on. So I can augment this, put extra intelligence on it to just go try and get higher GRs, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need, part of min-maxing is working your way up there, right? Just looking for those pieces you can augment and min-max to get all your stats, the proper stats on the piece at high enough stat range to do good for you, right? And just get, like, for a long time, you just hope for better pieces to come along a lot. and just roll and just go play, just go game. I'm just going through all this so people have an idea, right? Remove level requirements, right? So one equipable item like this Halo Carini, right? It's level 70. One rank 25 gem of ease, right? So that's going to be any legendary item, and you go to your gems. You go to legendary gems, and why is that? Okay, I don't even know what's going on. Why that's in there? That seems silly. And your gem of ease right here, right? This gets socketed into your weapons usually, right? There's a couple of these gems that only go on weapons, right? Or like some of them only go in jewelry, some only go on weapons. I think there's a couple you can do whatever. I'm not, there's only a few of them I use anyways where the perks are good enough to even bother with, right? Monster kills grant plus 500 experience, and it doesn't show the range on these. These don't have the range, which is silly. But the higher you rank the gem all the way to 150, the higher the amount of XP. At 25, level requirement of the item this gem is socketed into is set to 1. So you level that gem to 25, put it in any weapon, right? And that weapon will be a level 1 weapon. You can equip it at level 1. So if you need to level another character, right, and you want to start out with a level 70 weapon, you know, level that gem to 25, put it in your sword or your staff or the socket of your staff, your offhand, whatever, and it'll be rank 1, and you can use it with your level 1 brand new character and give them just a huge damage bonus. So you can start on, instead of starting on normal, you can start on master or torment and level that character to 70 way faster. Well, here's the fun part about that. Is in the cube, if you like, every time you level one of those to 25, and you come over here to remove level requirements, and you put that in the cube, and like I don't have one to do it, and then you use that rank 25 gem of ease, you can basically augment that item and make that item a level 1. You don't have to, right? Because you can't socket a gem of ease into a piece of armor, but you can come here and apply it to that and make that level 70 armor rank 1. So say if the next tune I'm going to build is a monk, and I got a whole bunch of monk stuff in here for the set I want to build with him for whatever reason I have them or whatever. Or I just have a bunch of good legendary stuff like Loric's Crown, for instance, right? Where I can make this, put the gem of use on it, make it rank 1 instead of rank 70. So I'm getting 77% increased value out of the gem. I put a red gem in it. A ruby in your helm gives you experience, right? So I get... We can go to this guy. Go to combine. Go down to rubies. Right? It shows... And... details. Right here. If I had a flawless royal ruby to put in the helm, I'd get 41% bonus XP. That helm would increase that 41% by 77%. Right? So it's like... that'd be like 70% extra bonus XP altogether. Because it's 77% of 41, which is going to be around, what, a total of 30% of that, right? Quarter, yes. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, it'd be 10. So saying, yeah, I'd be around 30, a little over 30%. So that then my total bonus would be 70% bonus experience, right? For leveling. And then the same thing I could do that with, I'm pretty sure, Loric Signet, right? Comes with 20% bonus XP. Look at the range on it. That goes to 20 to 30%. On a legend, if it's ancient, it probably goes to 50%, right? That'll probably cap at 50% on an ancient. So then I could put my Gem of Ease on this, put that level 70 ring on my level 1 character, so they're getting another 50% bonus XP, right? So those are just way, and then you could put it on, like, a bunch of different legendary items. So you'd have a full set of level 1, because any character you make during season has access to your stash. Make that level 1 character, put all that level 70 gear on it, and just go run. Right? And then just go run. And really, if you have enough, here's another thing you can do, a little, right? You can take these legendary gems, right? And you can take the Gem of Ease out, right? And you can, or you put it in your stash, right? I would put it in my stash, and I'd sign out and I'd get my level 1 character, right? And then I'd come over here with my level 1 character, go in here and I'd grab that Gem of Ease and take it out. So it's now on my person. So as far as the game is concerned, in my inventory, in my stash, I don't have one. Like when I sign out and grab my other character, there's not one in my inventory, and there's not one on me, so the game believes I don't have any, right? So then I just go run a GR. If I already have all my other gems, the first GR I run is going to drop another Gem of Ease, which I can then take over here, put in the stash, sign out, grab my level 1 character, grab that Gem of Ease out of it, keep it on the person, sign out, come back, get another Gem of Ease, right? But I wouldn't do that. Like, I'd take the gem I have, level to 25, put it in here, then I'd grab it with my level 1 character, and just keep doing that till I had enough of those on the level 1 character to do all my gear, make all my gear level 1, right? And then hopefully also, like, if you have enough of your crafting mats, right, you can just come over here and craft like 5 of each item, 5 level 70 gloves, 5 da-da-da, right? And go over here and reforge all 5 of them or upgrade them from rare to legendary. And you should get at least one set item, right? And you can put an entire set for your level 1 character together before you've done anything. And then you can grab all those Gems of Ease or the weapons or the armor, whatever, and put that stuff on it so you can start a level 1 character with a full set bonuses, and just go out on T6 and start running and just demolish and get that guy level. It's a lot of work to do it that way. So, and it's also like, I know it's a lot of work, everything on this game. So that's generally, if I do that, why I do like Loric's Crown, the Signet, and I'll do like just stuff that with XP on it, right? That gives me XP bonuses, or just weapons and stuff that I'm gonna need for the Nemesis bracers, right? Shoulder pads, just regular ass shoulder pads that I can use on any character, right? And it won't even matter what the main stat is, whether it's intelligence or da-da-da or whatever, because I can always roll that main stat. If it's got the other stats I need, I can roll that main stat to whatever I need for the character I'm running, right? And I'll just put together a legendary set, right? And probably with like And really, I've done this before too, where I've made, like, I call it the clown set, right? I'll make the sages set, 3 pieces of, right? And I'll do it so I can have 2 pieces of like sages, right? Or assures or borns, right? Life bonus experience. So I'll do like borns. I'll do no, generally don't do that one. Maybe a guild. Go back to the helm. Sages, so I have all the extra strength, intelligence, da da da, all that. Get extra death breath the whole time, right? And then I can always put, as I get other stuff I might want to wear, I can put that stuff on their follower. There's a lower cane set too that you can lower the requirements. This one it gives you 10% magic item find and 50 bonus experience. Right, that's level 22, but you'll surpass that so quickly. But you can put a set, 2 or 3 of those together. The Sage set, Assuras, whatever, right? You can put like 2 or 3 pieces of all that together, get 2 or 3 set bonuses, because also your new character is going to have access to all the powers you've extracted and you have in your cube. Right, so you can. That's just a faster way to level characters later on. Okay, where was I? Remove requirements. That was a big old side thing right there. Convert gems, right? I don't have any. We will go to Act 2. Hidden camp. Right? Talk to just Squirt the peddler. This little squirt over here. Go to her pouch. Right? So, this is where you buy the plans for your Hellfire Ring. Right? Hellfire Amulet, Hellfire Ring. Right? And this Hellfire Ring, I believe, isn't viable in this game. It's still viable in like the old Xbox version. Right? This is why the recipe is still here, but it's not viable in the newer version. You can't get the pieces for it in the newer version. But it's still used in the older Xbox. They'll probably be taking it out sooner or later. And then these Hellfire Rings use gems, right? And then here they're not cheap. These are not cheap, right? 100,000 gold apiece. I believe that one's the one you don't use. The 200,000 one is the one you don't use anymore. I always forget, so I end up buying all 3 of them and then just selling or throwing away the one I don't need. Or I give it to my blacksmith and go, oh, I don't need that one. But anyways, I digress. You come here, say I've got a ton of diamonds, right? But I need topaz for my build. I come here and I buy essence of topaz, right? Then I come over here. I go to convert gems. Let's see what do we got. Yeah, see, we got a bunch of these. And I know I have these all leveled up like this. Let's see, what do we got? And you need at least 7 of each one. There, I don't use a whole bunch of these. I don't even think I use them at the cube a whole lot. All right? And you put 9 of them in there. And you add 1 essence of topaz. Transmute. And now you have 9 imperial topaz. Right? So that's a good way. So if you have a whole bunch of gems you're not using, you can transmute those to a different gem. That's a good way to get your gems. Next thing, item. Convert reusable parts. All right. Let's see. Let's go in here and see what I got. Okay, I got 2,000 of these, right? 1,000 of these. 400 of these. So is what I can do is I can go over here to Squirty Squirt. And I can buy or gamble or whatever, however I get yellow pieces. I can buy yellow pieces. I can take the yellow pieces I've got from farming. I can take the magic items I've got from gambling.
Still waiting.
Right, so I'm just going to buy a yellow piece here. Right? I'll come to the cube. And I'll go to convert reusable parts. So is what this will do, right? It'll take 100 reusable parts and it will convert those into 100 arcane dust or 100 or veiled crystal, depending on what item I use. Now I've got a yellow item, put it in the cube, and that's gonna convert, and I back out, give me 100, see that? 100 veiled crystal. So now I go back in here, look at my mats. I now have 500 veiled crystal, and I have 100 less reusable parts. So you can tally out, like you think in your head, you know, like you got 10 extra magic weapons, right? Or you've bought or you've gambled for. You can come over here and convert them, right? Because you get so many reusable parts from each time you salvage. Like I said, it's between something like 5 or 7 and 10 reusable, 9 or 10 reusable parts per gray item. So you always have a ton of these. That's why you always pick up every gray item you see. Pick it up, because then you can take your veiled crystal, you can take your magic items, and instead of just getting one veiled crystal out of each one you salvage, you can get 100. Right? I mean, it's way, way, way cooler. And two, like Plu, you pick up tons of arcane dust, tons of magic items, and you get quite a few of them when you salvage. I'm not even sure it tells you at salvage how much you get for each one. I don't think it does. Just have to salvage a few. And then, so that's just a good way to generate your veiled crystal you need to, right? And you can do that with arcane dust. You have a whole bunch of arcane dust and not a lot of veiled crystal. Veiled crystal, I don't know why, like, if you have so much veiled crystal, you're converting it to reusable parts or arcane dust, you've been doing something wrong. But it's there. Okay, augment ancient item. Now the way this works, you need a legendary gem. Right? Like this gem of ease. And you've ranked them up when you run GRs, you rank up your legendary gems. Right? So And I'll go over this too. I'll probably do a bunch of short little videos on how to do each one of these, just like a 3-minute video on each of these at some point when I got time. Okay, you want to augment an ancient item, right? Ancient. So that's going to be primal or ancient, right? It's going to be primal or ancient. Can't do it with a regular legendary item like these. It has to be ancient. Again, it's going to have that border. That's going to say down at the bottom, ancient, right? Scroll down. Past a primal ancient legendary, right? Scroll down. Set boots, right? But they're legendary, right? Let's see, do I have anything? Okay, here we go. Legendary ring. So it needs to say ancient legendary, right? And I don't have anything that's probably in my stash, probably. Let's go look. Yeah, let's go look. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right. Yeah, just hit compare and scroll down. See, ancient legendary amulet. So it tells you. And you can tell by the border, the gold border is extra pointy in the corners. Right. And down at the bottom it says ancient legendary.
New more time.
Right? And is what you do. I'll go over it now, but I'll show you later when I'm going to have to augment stuff sooner or later. Right? And you would put that ancient legendary item in there. Right? And, am I on the right? Yeah, augment. Right? You put your ancient legendary item in there. And then I don't have any. So it doesn't have any to choose from. And then you would put 3 of your gems in. 3 of your regular gems, right? Whether it's going to be diamond, right? And you can't do it with diamond, right? I can just look at the recipe here. It's right on the screen. I'm so silly, right? So at least a rank 30 gem to do a weapon, rank 40 to do a ring, rank ring or necklace, right? That's ring or necklace. The ring just signifies as an accessory. Necklaces and rings are accessories. So rank 40 gem minimum to augment your legendary gems, right? Like that gem V's. And a piece of armor requires at least a level 50 legendary gem. Right? And then you put your ancient item in there, your legendary gem, right? And then 3 of either a flawless royal amethyst, which is going to give you vitality. 3, or like you don't do them all, you just one of each set. Like if you want vitality, use 3 amethyst. If you want to put dexterity on that item, extra dexterity, you would use an emerald. If you want to put extra strength, you'd use ruby. If you want to do extra intelligence, you would use a topaz. 3 flawless royal ones, right? And then depending on the rank of the gem, the amount that goes on is higher, right? So that's like I was saying, if we go to leaderboards, right? And we go to greater rifts, and we go to top global, we look at this guy's gear. Now you look at that death wish. Like, look down through your affixes, right? Poison, regular damage, int, crit, int. 625 intelligence, Caldescend's Despair, rank 125. That's where he augmented it, right? He took 3 topaz, the royal topaz, and a 125 gem, and augmented with that rank 125 gem to get 625 extra intelligence. And God, I think it goes up to 725 with a 150 or 70. I can't remember what the max is with a 150 gem. But so that's the idea. You want to get all your legendary gems to 150 so you can augment your ancient and legendary pieces with it. Now, another way, and I don't have one to show you. I might have, and I'll show you how to run these later to you. I don't have one on this account. There's also an item called a petrified screen that you can pick up. It will drop running bounties. It can drop running Nephilim rifts. It can drop running greater rifts, right? It's an item called a petrified screen. And you bring it over here to your cube. And I don't have one, so it's not showing here. When I get one, I'll show you, though. And you can put it in the cube, and it will open a portal to an echoing nightmare, right? And you can go in that portal, and if you can run that portal, and it's ranked, and I'll show you when I do it, it's just like a really small room. And it's kind of like and the levels are equivalent to greater rifts, right? And you start at 1. And you start killing stuff. The more stuff you kill, the more, what's the word I'm trying to, the more waves, right? And every time you kill a wave of monsters, you go up a rank in your petrified scream, in your echoing nightmare, right? And the idea is to get to 125 through 100. Like you can go to through 150 waves, right? 160, 170. But anyways, every time you complete one of those waves, at the end of the Echoing Nightmare, once you die, right, or you're overwhelmed, there's too many monsters on the screen, you can't kill them all, you're considered overwhelmed. There's an overwhelmed bar. We'll get to that when I have one. I'll do a video on it. But here's the thing. It caps out, you can get, it's called a Whisper of Atonement. It's like a little red looking teardrop thing, right? You can, if you run up to at least 125 before you're overwhelmed or you die in the rift, or you die and you don't respawn fast enough to before you're overwhelmed, whatever. Then you take that 125 gem and it works just like your legendary gem that you would have used. Your gem of ease. Say if that gem of ease, I'd ranked it up in the GRs. At the end of the GR, you get 3 to 5 chances to rank that gem up, right? If I ranked it up to 125, this would be the same equivalent. The Whisper of Atonement. And it looks like a little red teardrop with like a leaf in it. And it ranked 125. It's the same thing. It's considered a legendary gem. And you can bring it over to your cube and use it to augment with. And that's the only purpose it has. That's the only purpose it has. The Whisper of Atonement is to augment your gear. And that's where he got on the leaderboard. Whoops, greater risk. Right, okay, so that's where he got that 125 gem to rank with. It was a Whisper of Atonement. He got it from Petrified Scream. Same here. That's got the 125. You can see most of these items aren't ancient, so he hasn't augmented them. It's an Ancient Guardians aversion, rank 125, right? And you can run these, and that you can run that one. Oh, he only got that one to 120. So he didn't actually rank a regular legendary gem to 120, right? That takes forever. He just used a Whisper of Atonement. That one's ancient. Also, those are ancient, but he hasn't augmented them yet. That one's ancient and augmented. Not ancient, not augmented. See what I'm saying? And that's a way to get your augments done faster. And I'll show you that, like I said, later. I'm just going over a thing right now. And then of course, already upgrade legendary item to a primal. I've already gone over that, and I've done it in gameplay for those of you who are watching. That's how I got that Death Wish. Okay. Go, brain, go. Go, brain, go. And I'll show you all kinds of tricks as we're playing too. Like when you're playing with multiple people, you've probably seen me do it in gameplay. If they're somewhere on a different map and I need to get to them, I just go to their flag, click A on it, and of course that's not what it does here. And I will automatically teleport to their position. I can ban it. It's called bannering to them. Like in Diablo 2 and Diablo 4, here at the at your portals, your waypoints, there'll be a blue portal out here. And you could walk up to that blue portal and it could tell you which character left it, and you could take that portal right to their position. Right? In D4, you go to their banner. I hope this is and this is generally something I go over early in the season. I go over all these menus and stuff like that before I even start leveling, but I was just too excited this season. I just spent, this a 2-hour episode on general gameplay. And of course, you already know about the Book of Cain, seeing it's over here, and armor, you go there for armor, you go there for weapons, or you just go here and you toggle with your LB, RB to go through what you need, right? And then you got your radial dials. That's all self-explanatory, right? how to switch weapons, junk weapons, all that. I think is kind of self-explanatory. Um, yep, I think that's it. Okay, went through all that. Went through how to use. Oh yeah, and transmogrify. Like this is pretty cheap thing to do, right? In fact, it's so cheap, it's free, right? You can make your weapon look like whatever you want. And I usually. Oh wait, on this account, I think I have. Where is it? I actually have a katana, and I'm not even sure where I got it. But it's straight up a Japanese katana. Nope, maybe not. I thought I seen a katana in here. Nope. Huh. Dang, I could have sworn I could have sworn one of these like I transmog. I'm like, oh, it's a katana. Nope. I was wrong. I was just seeing things. That sucks. So I really wanted to do the katana look. Sniffle, sniffle. But anyways, so a lot of times with this build, Pong. And then, yeah, I usually that look. Heart of Iron. The helm. And I don't have the transmog I like. There's a from a yearly event, you can get this red gem in your head. Looks cool as heck, man. I don't have that on this account. And I never know what to go with then, because that's my favorite, right? It's my fave, bro. Let's see. Guess we can go with this hood looking thing. Oh, here we go. You just go with that one. Or that one. Boots. I use those a lot. Whoops.
What skill should I use?
There we go. Those. Right. So you don't have to look, if you hate the look of the set. And the Firebird set is pretty bright, pretty flamboyant, if you ask me. So this is generally about what I run with. And then you can right, and then you can, of course, you can go to transmog, so I mean, go to dye, and you can dye the pieces from there, right? To change some of the. Oh, and apparently that is a Oh, cover that. Covered all this stuff. I think I'm running out of that. I'm trying to read like I think that about covers it. Teleport. Yeah, you've seen how that is pretty obvious. You highlight where you want to go and you come. Oh, here's something cool. Say I go to kill Belial, right? And let's see. I think I'm on what level are we on here? T16. Right. And I'll just zoom up here. I won't even mess around.
Need more time.
Right, we're running bounties or we're doing boss mode or speed mode or whatever, right? Kill all these guys. All right. So, we've got a group of guys. Gosh darn it. There we go. We've got a group of guys. We're doing, say, boss mode, right? Which is kill the 20 bosses or 18 bosses in 20 minutes, whatever it is, right? So I'll come to here, right? And somebody else will be going to Zoltan Kuhl or to Magda or to Vidian, right? And is what I'll do is instead of just doing that to go back to town, right? Starting a teleport and making a portal. If you go into your map, yeah, I'm tired. I can't even remember how to do nothing right now. And instead of that, and then you just use the waypoint, right? So if I go to the hidden camp here and I teleport like this, see, that didn't leave a waypoint. Oh, I done it wrong. I done it wrong. I am so tired. You can't. It's not even that late. It's only 8 o'clock. I don't believe I'm this out of it. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try not be stupid this time. God, I'm just barely running T16 here. These guys should be all toast.
Still waiting.
Okay, so I done that backwards. All right, so I'll go back to town the regular way. Right, so that creates a portal back to where I was. Say, homeboy, he's up here at Zoltan Kuhl. Right? So I can either take his banner and go there, right, or use the waypoint so my portal stays open. And I can teleport here, right? And then when we kill Zoltan Kuhl in there, right? And then instead of just teleporting back to, using the side teleport and creating a new portal back from Zoltan Kuhl, right? I pull up the map and I just use this to go back to town. And see my portal is still open back to here. And then once I'm here, people can just click on my banner and come to here and we can do this boss fight. Right? So if everybody goes out and goes to a different boss and does that, right, it takes about the same amount of time to get to all these 2-3 minutes tops, and everybody's at the boss they need to be at, right? And then you can just go in turns. Everybody goes back to town and clicks on somebody's banner. Or actually, you don't even have to click on their banner. The moment he starts the boss fight, it's going to give you a prompt whether or not you're going to join that boss fight. You just join the boss fight. And then you use the portal system, your map, use the map to go back to town instead of casting a portal, right? And then you take your portal, bink, then you start the boss battle, and they all accept the boss battle, and you all just go in. And you can knock those out, bang, bang, bang.
Need more time.
Oh, Hello. Oh, Cat. How's it going? How you doing? All right. I have no idea when you posted that chat. I've looked over a couple times. I didn't see anything in chat. So, but there's that. That's how to do that. And we're over 2 hours. We're at like 2.5 hours now. I generally just do a 2 hour stream. So I'm gonna go back to town. Doodle-doo. Probably could have just. I've been talking so long, explaining this stuff. My brain is frazzled. But I'm gonna stop this stream now. We're 2.5 hours in, way longer than I wanted. I just wanted to go over menus and some settings, the options menus, and I'll try and remember every time I launch a stream to remind people in gameplay to make sure elective mode and oops, I went past it, I think. No, I didn't. Advanced tooltips. Make sure elective mode and advanced tooltips is on every time I start a stream. Thank you for coming and watching the stream here at Darth Grumpy Dad. Please follow my channel here. Get some notifications so you know when I go live. Take the link on my front page to my YouTube page where I archive all my videos. And maybe subscribe there and get some notifications when I post a new video. If you don't have the time to watch every time I go live. If you have any questions, post them in the comments of the videos, and I will try and answer them in my next video. All right. Darth Grumpy Dad signing out. Catch y'all on the next one.